I mean no one, and I mean completely no one, did anyone at all predict anything like that was going to be happening to Erza, that we'd be finding out more about that character after so long and all that. Yes, people, you are now about to find out in like next week's chapter what exactly is really the true tale of Erza Scarlet. It's just, where do I even begin with this chapter? See, it's, you know what's nice and all that, like with Fairy Tail, one of the biggest things I can appreciate and all that, it doesn't jangle keys in front of you too much and all that. It jangles enough to keep your attention, saying, you know, you know, like kind of like how a dog is paying attention and all that, and you just following them, you know, you got them, and it's like, you know, there you go. They don't hold them out for a millennium and just say, oh yeah, I suppose you can have them now. No, because the dog's skeleton right now. But even still, coming from this, like that, we immediately get to see and all that, a little bit between Gray, Leon versus Ul. And I've got to say, like, I really did like this one a lot, because it's saying, like, you're still very far away from, like, catching up to me, boys, like that. You still got away, and, like, Gray and, like, Leon are, like, we have way more than what we used to, and I love that she was using, like all her magic and all that. Kind of like, you know, the rose, using all the roses and stuff. I love that, because obviously that's what Ultir used, and obviously that's where she got it from. So I'm glad that that was something remembered from, and it's like, yeah, this is like, you know, tastes like what the original Masters like magic is, and this is like kind of their own time to actually show, even though it's like a side thing that's happening, it's kind of showed like, hey, this is how far, you know, like Gray and Leon, how much they've like progressed in the series, because it's been such a long time since they've seen their master, and seeing like, what was she like at her prime compared to what Gray is probably now, what he's at his prime as well, and Leon as well is probably at his prime. Because even still, well, like with the Historia, like these guys, they're definitely gonna know this, and like, yeah, since they're the same emotions that are gonna be feeling, like, you know, they're gonna feel like proud, like when you see that stuff. And it's like being able actually even to like, she was smiling and saying like when she saw like she got a bit of a cut when like Gray like shot some ice at her, and he's saying, you know, we can overcome this obstacle and all that. You know, I won't allow you to drag my master's name in the dirt any longer. Because like Gray doesn't know. Like, he don't know that this is actual legit like emotions. Same thing, you know, like Meredy thinks like Zancro's real. Like when he's like slashing down this god flames. Like, did I forget to mention as well last week how much I love Zancro? Like, Zancro's such a really cool character. God flames, man. So unusual. Like, it'd be cool if, like, before that, Natsu just takes those god flames. He's like, oh yeah, I forgot I could do them. Yeah, I'll use my God's Dragon Slayer. I miss God Dragon Slayer. Even as well with, like, you're going to have to go Keys. You got to go against her, like, with Julia. And then as well, like, I feel bad for Laxus. Laxus just went against Wall. And even Laxus like, Jesus Christ, what is it with you Guildmasters and not being able to stay dead, for fuck's sake? Jesus Christ. Like, Laxus like, I've had a bad day, alright? I'm nearly dead. Seriously, fuck. Wendy gets it bad as well, because her legs are completely like crumpled into the rubble, and it's like she's like bleeding everywhere, and she's like, I can't move my leg, I'm in serious pain. Like, she hasn't got Shelly there to heal her anymore. Like, that's it. Like, Wendy is like, she's in a very tough spot. So it's like, definitely now of all times is it like, yeah, Nineheart might need to be put to rest. Like, Laxus is probably having a mental breakdown right now. Wendy's legs are completely broken. Like, you got Gray and, like, I think Gray and Leon could actually take on it. Like, I'm not too sure about Meredy, because, like, most of the time that we've ever seen, like, we haven't really seen anything really or too much of Meredy in the time skip, like, compared to her powers. But considering that she's bringing out the blaze, she's trying to fight against Zancro, and, like, all like the seven Purgatories of Kins were pretty much near equals to each other, although albeit a few exceptions to that list. I always kind of thought, like, on a way, like, Meredy and Zancro would, like, kind of like, even though they weren't physical raw strength power wise, like, you know, obviously Zancro and like physical strength is a lot stronger, but it's like Meredy was a lot more smart, and I thought, like, you know, she could use her wits to get to, you know, be able to like outwit someone like Zancro, because Zancro just thinks that's all he is, he's just a fucking brute. And even when you got to see like this piece of shit Nineheart, he's like, oh, the Mayan war is just so pathetic indeed. Observe how I handedly like surpassed these weaklings, a simple task for yours truly. Like, I'm like, this posh ass piece of shit. And it's like, when you see like Erza, and like I said very much last week, and I've said in videos before, like, and many people, boy was I terrified when I saw the spoilers. Like, when I saw the spoilers and I saw Erza, you know, fighting these characters, I was getting scared. Not because Erza was getting hurt, but I was getting scared that we could have another because it's Erza moment, and I'm shocked to say that there's not one. There's still some weird stuff to it, but then the Erza bombshell literally happens, and I've got to say, like, Erza getting tortured again was kind of messed up. I'm like, I've seen one Erza torture scene, I kind of don't want to see her, like, another getting, like, cut up and everything, and it's like, Kyoka is like after everything is like this piece of shit, and she's like, oh, this takes us back, doesn't it, Erza? Remember how I used to like fondle you in that like ground torture chamber and want some more love, tender? And it's like you can see like exactly what it's like, you know, multiple like pains, and it's just like literally it feels like her body's just getting ripped apart, and it's just like, isn't this lovely and all that? And it's like, what? And Erza's just like, yeah. And I kind of guessed this from like the last week's chat. It's like, yeah, I've managed to defeat all you before. You're nothing compared to me. Yeah, you all were worthy opponents. And it was just like, then she fucking snapped. Her eyes just went. It's just like determination in her eyes. She's just like, begone, depart, spirits, unless you wish to taste my blade once more. And this is the bit where I'm a little like, this is the only iffy part of the chapter where I was like, wait a minute. All of them are fucking disappearing, and then they're like, you know, preposterous, you know, what's going on? And even like Nine Eyes, like, what the fuck, you know, my Historia, they, you know, they cowered in fear and they vanished in an instant, and like, what's up with this woman? So I'm guessing maybe like we might not find out about the Ikuruga stuff. Maybe that she just might appear. Because that's a shame if that's the actual case, because I really hope we do hear something about Ikuruga. Like, since like I said before, like there was Nine Hearts said something very interesting about in that chapter. So I'd like to believe with what happened next week, maybe Ikuruga could have a relation in this some way. And just the ending part of that chapter, like that last page, gave us so much fucking information, because like Erza's on the ground, she's bleeding out, Kagura's like, she's got horrific, you know, Erza, stay with us. Jellal, my boy, Jellal Fernandez fucking snaps. That guy snaps, he turns. That is a face of a man ready to snap a neck. Like, Kagura's there holding it, and it's like, you see that panel, you see Erza's there, coloured in blood, and there's the thing where it's like, okay, technically, she took down, like Ikuruga, Asuma, like, and Kyoka. I'm glad it wasn't out of brute strength, it was just out of force. It wasn't, like, out, like, the stuff that we're panning out of her, and it still seems like, you know, the rest of the Historia are still there. However, you know, like, I was a little bit worried about that. But when he snaps and he's like, let's go, you hurt my girl, you hurt my woman, this is where your meteors are being dropped, like, and that bit of the last panel, I know a lot of people ain't probably even catch that, and it's Nineheart, Erza Scarlet's hair, and this magic power, that woman, it cannot be Lady Aline's. That right there is a confirmation that we are now going to find out about Erza's mother. So we know already that her mother's is like the Aline's family name. Now we don't know if that's like her first name or her last name. So it'd be a bit weird. So Erza Aline like that. It sounds like a very posh name, because we do know Scarlet was obviously the name that Jellal gave to her, because that's just what it was. And we knew that she grew up in the village alongside with Kagura and Simon, and it was like, that's where they got captured, and for as far as we know, she's never talked about that time in her past. Maybe she can't remember, maybe she just only remembers Tower Heavens. She was very young at that age, so maybe she don't remember her parents. This could be something interesting, that what if that's the case and all that, it's just like, what is Nineheart's relation to that? Like, was Nineheart like a pupil or something like that? Was he, like, it's going to be fucked up, it was like he was actually to be wed or something, like some really messed up shit like that. But it's like, now we've got a real interesting, you know, relation to that. Now, here's the thing. I hope this is the case, that Erza's not going to fight anymore, because I really love, and I feel like this will be such justice if this is the case, that it's like, okay, Nineheart was originally supposed to be wed to like Erza or something like that, like some shit like that, and Jellal's like, don't you ever fucking touch my woman like that. I want Jellal going meet your body. I want him going in. I like, you know, that's why the Tower of Heaven is one of my favorite fights, because Jellal's magic is such a badass and it's so underused. And you saw what that man could do at the ground magic age. You know, there was a reason why he was a wizardly saint for the fucking, like, the reason he was up there with Jura, because he was strong, he was powerful, and it's just like, I got so hyped at that panel. When I saw Jellal snap, I felt like a kid. I was like, yo, my first impression was like, yo, let's go, Jellal. It's like, this is the time, and it's like, like I said, I was so scared, and like I said, you know, Erza could still get up. Like, even with her bleeding on the ground, probably with like the tiny millimeter of blood and all that, I like Erza a lot, but you know, you never know. Erza could come up and say, you know, it's Erza kind of shit, but it's like in a way, it's like, I don't know if we're going to find out about Ikaruga. I think like that would be cool if she's actually involved in Nine Hearts past or something like that. Maybe she like relate. Like, I'm curious, like, because I feel like if he said something like that and he's like, oh, what a beautiful like historia, it's like obviously he knew something about her. So it's like maybe like that'd be interesting if like Ikaruga is a big part of like her family history or something like that. I'm really curious, but it seems like that's going to be interesting because the next chapter is called The Seventh Star. So with this could be, you know, one of the things, this could be explaining about Erza's past, maybe that like she was looking at the stars when she got kidnapped, and maybe that might explain something, maybe it might be something about some royal family that she part, because this is definitely what it's looking like, like also with Nineheart, how he looks and how he approaches and all that. Erza's definitely on some sort of royalty. It wouldn't shock me if she's like saying like, it wouldn't like shock me if there was like another royal families out there. Maybe before, like, you know, Emperor Zeref came along, maybe she came, like, alongside from Alvarez. I mean, because it makes sense. I mean, he's from Alvarez, as far as we know. The person that we know that actually, who originally used to belong into Fiore, was the only person that we knew about that was obviously Serena. So there could be some stuff about this. So I'm kind of curious about like, what's going on. But it's like, we're honestly going to have to wait and see. I love the chapter. Like I said, it stopped being a perfect chapter with the whole little Erza bit. I still think it was kind of cool. But it's like, I didn't want fucking Ikaruga. And I think it would have been better if Jellal took them out. Or maybe Kagura took them out. Like, it's saying like, yeah, we're equals. I'm able to beat some of like if you had Ikaruga versus like fucking Ikaruga versus Kagura. And then you had like Jellal come in and come for a swiping again against Kyoka and Azuma. That'd be really bad. But it's like, Jellal is like, yeah, you made the man snap. You don't touch the girl. Alright, that's one thing you don't do. Like, especially in his presence, when you touch this woman, you know, there's gotta be blood. Like, Scarlet's the one color you're gonna be seeing everywhere, and that ain't because you're gonna be looking at hers. It's because you're looking at your fucking hands covered in blood as you're trying to hold in the hole in your chest, like that. I generally like 9. Like, it's a really good chapter. Like, that one bit of them disappearing is the only bit that stops it from the like, because that's like, there's so much to talk about in the chapter, like, especially with the whole Ura stuff. Like, I love that. Like, I think that's a great little moment and all that. That's going to be heavily underlooked as well. Also as well, like, having a bunch of stuff happen at once. Like, seeing the Zancro fight, seeing Key's fight, seeing Hades, seeing, like, literally, I think Wendy is pretty much out the fight now. Like, she can't do anything, so they have to end this now. So, and setting up, like, something, like, no, like everyone I talked about with Fairy Tail, like they did not see that coming at all with Erza. So yeah, that's definitely interesting. I love the chapter. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Are you excited to find out about Erza's past and all that? Like I said, Fairy Tail don't like to jangle those keys too long, and we're getting a 25-page spread next week alongside some colors. And another shocking surprise, we didn't finish the fight this week, and I thought that was going to be finished this week. So, hey, we're going to get a little bit of the below backstory, and maybe we might finish the fight next week or a week after, so we have to see. This could be actually one of the longest Spriggan fights, if you're counting in the flash that we'll probably get next week. It's all from me. Love Fairy Tail much as I do. You hit that like and that subscribe. Oh no, I love the Fairy Tail, but that's all from me, so I'll catch you guys next time.